Last night, prayers for peace were held in London, calling for an end to the violence in Gaza, while the conflict has reportedly led to a 300% rise in anti-Semitism right here in the UK. Well, David Baddiel joins me now with a new movie whose message has really, I think, never felt more timely. My Father's Secret focuses on a family life after the trauma of the Holocaust. Well, David Baddiel joins me now. I would imagine there was no hesitation when you were asked to do this.
No, I mean, it should be clear when you say it's my film, I do a voice in it.
You do a
voice in it. I didn't write it.
I know.
But I am the character you saw there, the main boy, he is Michel,
yeah.
and it's based on a graphic novel by a Belgian cartoonist called Michel Kichker, and it's about his life, which is discovering when he was a kid that his dad was a Holocaust survivor. Yeah. I play his voice now.
Yes.
I mean, really, it's my voice. I don't do a Belgian accent or anything because I can't do that. But it's me being him grown up talking about that, setting the scene for discovering that his dad was that. And actually, it really related to me because when I was a kid, when I was about 10 or 11, I said to my grandma, who was a refugee from Nazi Germany, my mum was born in Nazi Germany, I said to her a kiddish thing. I said, "Oh, what happened? Did you have any brothers or sisters?" And she said, "Oh, you'll have to ask Mr. Hitler about that." And at the time, I remember thinking what the bloke they sing about on Dad's Army. Like, I had no sense of what that meant, and obviously I know now what it meant. And so when I'm asked to do that film, it really related to me, this idea that there's a silence around that in families, an oppressive and difficult silence that sometimes children have to mediate and discover. So that's what I think is moving about this film.
Oh, very much so. And it got me thinking about when people go through such a trauma that's unimaginable to anybody who hasn't done that. When they come back, they've somehow got to try and live their life and go back to whatever normal is.
Yeah.
And how you deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you deal with it.
What's good about this film, I think, is that it's not like the Holocaust survivor, the character in it, the dad, is an angel. He's quite an angry man.
He's grumpy.
Yeah, he's grumpy.
He's difficult.
Yeah, difficult. And all of that is real.
Yes.
And, of course, it's all to do with the fact that, you know, he's had an unimaginable trauma and now he's trying to live a normal family life.
And he never talks about it to his children, but that's... I suppose...
Yeah, it's a really moving moment where they see the numbers on his arm. I mean, I love animation. That's one of the things, is that I think animation is really good at conveying high emotion.
Very much so. I mean, it really is, and even sometimes more powerful than a film. It can be.
Well, it is a film, but I think...
I mean, sorry, I mean,
for me, the most powerful moment in cinema is the moment in Ratatouille where Antoine Ego... You know the moment in Ratatouille?
Yes!
He tastes the ratatouille and he goes back to childhood.
Yes!
That's one of the most moving moments in cinema.
And Toy Story when they're all holding hands.
When they hold the hands. I mean, I was broken in the cinema when that happened.
Completely. And that's the thing about this as well. You learn a lot without realising that you're learning a lot. And I like the fact that he's not a saint.
Yeah.
He's not at all.
Played by Elliot Gould as well, which is like... Elliot Gould was in MASH, come on.
I know.
Yeah.
And Miriam Margolyes
is in it.
I know. And Tracy as well. You've got proper. It's really good. It's going to be shown at the Jewish Film Festival, I believe, next weekend of next week.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Presumably that's all going ahead. It's going to be okay.
As far as I know.
It's going to be all right.
Bad that there might be some sense that it might not.
Right.
You know, because of the threat at the moment. And as far as I know, it is going ahead. Good.
I'm glad that it actually is. I think it's important that does, because we've seen terrible things. I mean, more than 300% in cases of anti-Semitism right here.
Yeah.
Kids not being able to wear their school blazers.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things is like, and I don't think any Jewish person wants to compare the anxiety to the incredible suffering that's going on in Gaza or the incredible suffering that happened in Israel on October the 7th. But I can tell you, as a Jewish person, that we are living through a time when most Jews feel a sense of kind of dread and sort of race déjà vu, a sense that this has happened before, but not really in Britain. That Britain is a place that, to be honest, one feels as a Jewish person fairly safe most of the time. And now at the moment there is just a low-level sense of anxiety and uncertainty, which comes with things like the kids at this Jewish free school being told by their head teacher, maybe don't wear your blazers at the moment because the blazers have a Star of David on it. Now, I went to a Jewish primary school. It had a Star of David on our blazer. We had trouble then in the 70s because there was National Front people outside and skinheads outside or whatever. But my film, Jews Don't Count film, is on Channel 4 again on Wednesday. And in that film, I go back to that school and I talk about how they have to do high-level security drills at that school now. 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. And I didn't know that until I went back to the school. And it's heartbreaking.
I had no idea that Jewish children had to do that.
Yeah.
You know, going through the horror of Dunblane, and you sort of think, oh well, we dealt with that terrible, unimaginable crime.
Yeah.
And yet...
Well, I was moved to do that because I saw there'd been another one of the awful things that often happens in America, where there's some terrible shooting in America, and that's a regular thing in America. And I saw people online saying, well, at least we don't have to do that in this country, that schools don't have to do that in this country, but all Jewish schools do it. And all Jewish schools have high-level security, not just panic drills. They also have people outside, they have 24-hour security. All synagogues have 24-hour security, and all that obviously is being upped at the moment. You know, and so you've got this dysfunctional association between what's happening in the Middle East and stuff here, and it's an association that I've always resisted. I've always said, look, you know, one should not define Jews and indeed what's happening in terms of how you think about anti-Semitism by things going on 4,000 miles away. But that is what happens.
Which is so hard for anybody to understand, because this is the thing. That's why I think the prayers for peace, you know, whether you are a religious person or not, at least you feel as if they're trying to do something positive to bring people together.
I'm an atheist. Confusingly for a lot of people, I'm a Jewish atheist. But I was moved by that. I was moved by Layla Moran speaking, you know, and it doesn't matter in terms of God or not. The fact is, it's people trying to be together. And that's what's desperately needed right now. Especially, look, we're sitting here with poppies on, remembering. We mustn't forget things. And that goes right back to My Father's Secrets, back to the film, that we can't forget about things like that. It's really important for us to do that. And the fact that your film is being repeated on Channel 4 on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And also, by the way, I also think, like, it overshadows everything. But it shouldn't. Like, I'm doing stand-up at the moment.
I know. I was going to say to you, you still got on with your life. You know, you're still doing all these things, although you're not as busy as your wife.
Well, no, it's
the busiest woman in the world.
It's the busiest woman in the world, and also in terms of animation. My wife, of course, is the voice of Mummy Pig. Complicated for a Jewish bloke, as we know, but nonetheless, she is the voice of Mummy Pig in Peppa Pig.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. The thing is, no matter what you do in your life, it's never going to be as good as that, is it? Let's be honest. She has trumped you.
Trumped's a strange word, but yeah, she has indeed, definitely. She's globally famous as the voice of Mummy Pig. And she's also, you know, she writes Slow Horses and she writes Funny Woman on Sky.
Of course.
And, you know, she's much more successful than me.
Because your home is a hub of creativity, essentially, isn't it?
It is.
All these ideas flowing around.
That's why I've had to leave my home and go and I'm doing stand-up in Manchester tonight and the next couple of days. Because I did 3 stand-up shows over the last 10 years, and I'm recording them all for Sky Arts next year. So I have to go out and about. I have to try and remember them. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm going on stage just to try and remember them at my advanced age, so that I can put them on tape next year.
Will you come back? When is that all starting? When is that all going to be happening?
On Sky Arts, it's going to be on next year, early next year.
Will you come back and tell us all about that?
I'd love to.
And hopefully by then, we'd like to think that somehow things will be better. Things will be better, because God, they can't get any worse. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Lorraine.
And My Father's Secrets, it's out on the 16th of November. And like I say, the power of animation and graphic novels are unbelievable.